Hey guys, this is a video response to the Game Man Dan's uh, 500 subscriber contest that he has going on right now. He wanted to know what are some good games to have uh, for his collection. He wanted to know 3 games, and for pretty much any system, give or take, And I came to the conclusion that to just choose 3 games kind of sucks because, first of all, sometimes it's hard to find a specific game. Second of all, sometimes the games are really hard to find, or sometimes just in certain areas it's just hard to find a game for a specific system just in general. So what I've done here is I've just grabbed a few systems and I chose just 3 games that may not be the best games for each system, but are definitely underrated games for the system. Um, so here we go. I'm going to start with the original Nintendo. Um, Blaster Master for the original Nintendo is an absolutely fantastic game. It has platforming and third-person shooter aspects to it. The bosses are awesome. You get a lot of play out of this game. The music's fantastic, the storyline's good, and the graphics are awesome for the original Nintendo. You can usually pick up Blaster Master pretty much anywhere online, anywhere from like $5 to $8, give or take, and it's definitely a must-have for anyone who has a Nintendo. The second one's another classic, Bionic Commando for the original Nintendo, and it's another fantastic game. Originally, Bionic Commando in Japan, it was the one where you fought against the Nazis. This one here has been dumbed down for the North American release, pretty much. But I remember playing this as a kid and thinking to myself, "This is the stupidest thing ever. You can't jump. Like, why can't I jump?" And then once I got the hang of using the magnetic hand, or sorry, the bionic hand, to grapple onto things. It was just absolutely fantastic, swinging through the air and stuff. Really good. And once again, you get this game for like $5-10. It's pretty cheap, and can be found readily available online. Finally, another game. This one here is considerably harder to find. It's Mighty Final Fight, and it's an absolutely fantastic Capcom game, just like Bionic Commando. You can get hours and hours and hours of fun out of it. It'll run you anywhere from about 30 to probably $80, depending on where you find it. You get it online for probably anywhere from 45 to 50, but or you can just be like me and just get lucky and find it somewhere for cheap. I think I paid $2 for it, which is ridiculous. But yeah, for the NES, Blaster Master, Bionic Commando, and Mighty Final Fight. Moving on to the Super Nintendo, Technos Japan, or I guess Technos American, whatever. The Combo Tribes, very popular arcade machine back in the day. One of my favorites that I recall. This is a fairly true port. There's a few things that are different from the arcade, like you can't pick things up. It's a really fun beat 'em up game, similar to Fatal Fury and Final Fight and all that kind of stuff. This is not an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. It's a very difficult game, but very fun to have. It runs anywhere from about $10 to $15. Koei game, Gemfire, really fun game if you've got a hell of a lot of time to spend. A fairly common one. It goes to about $15, give or take. But yeah, if you like spending a lot of time for your $15, this is an awesome game for that. And then finally, Uncharted Waters, New Horizons. This is not a common game, and it can run you $40 to $50 just for the game itself, complete in box like this, like $80-90. I was lucky; I found it for $6 at a thrift store. But a really fun role-playing game made by the same company, Koei. There, I'll just read the back for you. You can explain it better than I can. Imagine a time when mighty knaves controlled the seven seas, ruthless pirates searched for hidden treasure, and scholars argued that the earth was round. Now picture yourself as a young explorer on a mission that will carry you to the four corners of the globe. Play as the son of a Portuguese duke out to discover the legendary land of Atlantis, a Spanish female navy lieutenant turned pirate, a British privateer commissioned by Henry VIII to destroy this To destroy the Spanish fleet, an Italian adventurer in debt from his father, or a Turkish orphan starting his own trading business. Your adventure will take you to over 130 exotic destinations along the way. You will discover exotic monuments, long-sought treasures, and valuable merchandise to trade. As a captain of your fleet, keep a careful eye on the horizon for pirates eager to steal your valued cargo, or an enemy navy at war with the flag of your ship. What? With the flag, your ship flies. Once in port, remember to recruit mates. Blah 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 blah. Anyways, you can play as 1 to 6 people. You can seek out over 180 treasures. It's just 100 hours, easy of playing this game. Fantastic game. If you find it, awesome. Maybe save up for it if you actually want to pay retail for it. But just always keep an eye out. Don't pass it up if you see it. It's a fantastic game. Moving on up the Nintendo's lineup, we have the Nintendo 64. I'm going to give 2 common ones that people know about. Super Mario 64. This is getting harder and harder to find. I don't know why it is, but it is. And I know they sold like 5 million or something like that copies of it. But in all my hunting in the last couple of years, I found like 4 copies. And this is actually the original box I had as a kid with a game that I found later on in life. And I found this box at my dad's place just randomly in a closet somewhere. But Mario 64, if you know what you're doing, you can complete the game in like 2.5, 3 hours. If you don't know what you're doing and you want to do everything, and get all the stars, like 100 hours probably, give or take, screwing around and just discovering all the fun things that you can do with this game. Lots of glitches that make things interesting, Easter eggs and stuff like that. It's definitely a pickup, and you can get it for like $10. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. You probably know a lot about this game. Most likely already have it, but it's a really good game. My box is not really in the best of shape, but it's a solid game. Lots of crazy shit going on in it. Put masks on. Takes if you don't follow any guides online, you can spend a long time trying to figure out what you're supposed to do in this game with the different masks and how to progress forward. And it's just it's a good game. The storyline's okay. As far as this, there's lost a piece of the box. The storyline's okay as far as that goes. I prefer Ocarina of Time better, but as far as an underrated game in the Zelda series, I think this one's a pretty good bet for that. And then finally, the box won't close, but Earthworm Jim 3D. And you might be thinking, well, that's just a platformer, and it is. And apparently it was $3. I didn't pay $3 for it though. I think I paid $15. But it's an absolutely fun 3D platforming game. All the guys from the cartoon are in there. You get this one's about you go through like brains and stuff, and there's a bunch of evil bosses, lots of weapons. There's 15 levels. Just crazy stuff, hundreds of puzzles. It's just really fun. You want to play for half an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours. This is the game to throw down with. And yes, definitely worth it. You can get this thing for like $5, $8. Definitely worth the money. And the second last system I'm going to show you is the GameCube. And move those out of the way. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. I got like 168 GameCube games. This is probably one of the best ones that they ever made for the system, in my opinion. It's fun. It's unique. It was it took what was Paper Mario for the N64 and just kind of pushed it a bit farther, and it was awesome. It was a fantastic game, and you can play hours and hours and hours on this with not even noticing the time's passed. That's how much fun it is. And it's a really fun game, and it's not cheap anymore. You could be looking anywhere from like $12 to $25 depending on where it is. But if you find it for cheap, it's definitely worth the pickup. Tales of Symphonia, a game I like so much, I own 2 copies of it, and one is a backup just to be safe. It's a really fun RPG game. You can play up to 4 people at the same time. It's at 80. It says there on the back 80 hours. You can take your time and easily push 150 in this if you just want to screw around and stuff. it's a fantastic game. The graphics are good, the music's good, the storyline's good. It's pretty much a masterpiece for Namco. Um, it's a really good game. This and Tales of Vesperia. I don't know what the hell all this shit is on there. It looks like cigarette burns, but that's why I got a backup copy. And finally, for the GameCube, Pikmin. Really common game. You can get this. Sorry, this runs you anywhere from about 15, 20 bucks. Pikmin, you get this like $5, $10. Fun game, really unique. So many ways that you can play it. There's different endings for it. You can be like really hardcore, make sure you get all your little Pikmin guys to pick up all your spaceship parts, or you can kind of just sit back and just get the bare minimum and try and get it done as fast as possible. It's really fun and it's unique, and there's no other games really like this except for Pikmin 2, which I was gonna put that in here, but Pikmin 2 runs like 45 bucks, and it's just Pikmin 1. And finally, the last system I'm gonna do, I could have chosen Saturn and Dreamcast and all that kind of stuff, but I decided to do the TurboGrafx 16 because even though like Star Soldier 1 and Spyda 1A and those guys really love the system, there's just not enough people that talk about the TurboGrafx 16. Now, I don't know where you live, but where I live, TurboGrafx 16 games are impossible to find. I've never found one out in the wild ever in 12 years of searching for games. I've never found one ever. I found them in stores and at swap meets, and that's the only place I've ever found games for it. So if you, in your area, you were able to find these games more readily than I am, I highly suggest picking any of them up. The first one is a classic, Bonk's Adventure. An absolutely blast of a game. I remember playing this as a kid, and just playing for like 5-6 hours and just have a smile on my face ear to ear the whole time, and absolutely loved the game. And if I could find my damn controller, I was actually planning on playing this the other day and I can't find my TurboGrafx 16 controller, but fun game, absolutely fun, and perfect game for the system. Graphics are great, music is great, the story is fun. You get pissed off and you eat meat and steam comes out of your ears and your head gets all big and stuff and you smash everything with your face. It's an awesome game. Second one is Legendary Axe for the TurboGrafx 16 again. It's a fun game, and I think it's a little bit underrated by some and overrated by others. It's pretty much just like a fighting game. Your objective as the game is to penetrate the evil palace and rescue Flair. Score as many points as possible along the way, and you got lots of power-up items and things for you to all these guys for you to fight. And it's just a fun game, and it's definitely worth it. This game's like $8 or something, and Bonk's Adventure runs anywhere about $8 to $10 too. But really fun game. Definitely something you should have. In your TurboGrafx collection if you do have one or would like to start one. I'm trying to just get this thing back in here, but I can't. Whatever. And finally, one of the best shmups or shoot 'em ups or whatever you want to call it of all time, RType, and one of the best ports of it ever on the TurboGrafx 16. Absolutely fantastic shoot 'em up game. It's upside down. And if you have any interest in shoot 'em ups, hell, even if you hate shoot 'em ups, this is a game you're gonna like. I'm not the hugest fan of shoot 'em ups. I'm all thumbs, I guess you could say, when it comes to shoot 'em ups. But RType is a fantastic game. It's just got the perfect amount of difficulty matched with the perfect amount of upgrades and bonuses, and it's a game I've never beaten. It's a hard ass game for me to play. And I don't know specifically why that is, because there's other shoot 'em ups that I've beaten, and I've beaten them with no problems. Like the last one I beat was that one for Xbox Live Arcade that was free for a long time. I forget. Anyways, fantastic game. You should get it. It runs about $8. So I'm just going to quickly go over this once again. For the NES, Blaster Master, Bionic Commando, Mighty Final Fight. For the Super Nintendo, Gemfire, the Combo Tribes, and Uncharted Waters, New Horizons. Now, it doesn't say on here Uncharted Waters, but if you look online, it's under Uncharted Waters. It just says Uncharted. This is Uncharted Waters, New Horizons. I don't know why it doesn't say that in the box. For the GameCube, Pikmin, Tales of Symphonia, and Paper Mario. And finally, for TurboGrafx 16, RType, Legendary Axe, and Bonk's whatever. Now, if you have any other questions for, Sega Saturn, 3DO, whatever, that's cool. But, yeah. So, why the fuck is there a pool noodle in my room? This is what happens. You go away to work and then someone puts a pool noodle in your room. Anyways, that was odd. It's an odd way to end this shit. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and congrats to Dan on his 500 subs and all that good stuff. Have a good one.